everyone, it's time for day 2 of God is a Geek's Game of the Year festivities, celebrations. My name is Adam Cook and I am your host. I've given up the lights, I've got my Christmas spirit, and I've changed to a more sort of festive appearance, I think.
Yeah.
How are you, Adam Carroll?
I'm alright. I'm here, I'm happy, I'm loving Christmas.
Everything alright health-wise after yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Absolutely.
Christopher Hyde, how did you enjoy your first ever day 1 of Game of the Year, Miss? And congratulations on the new jumper, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's nice red number today.
You said it's a nice red stocking, didn't you?
I did nearly say, yeah, it's right red stocking. No, it's got a stocking on it, but it was brutal. It was more brutal than I thought. I don't know if I've brought that out in you guys. You seem more cordial with each other in previous years, so maybe I've brought that out in you. But
bless his heart, Adam and Chris. He just doesn't know, does he? Chris White, I'd like to also say congratulations to you on a looks like a new festive top.
No, it's the same one.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I was just that wound up after the first pod. I didn't sleep, and therefore I haven't changed my clothes. But I have got myself some Christmas spirit. So,
oh, I'm pleased to hear that.
Yeah, everything's good.
That's great. Mick Fraser, Christmas spirit.
Hello.
Is it? I noticed the beard's a bit longer than yesterday.
Well, I forced it out. I've been trying to.
Did you sort of like that? You know.
I'm drinking. We've got
that?
orange juice today, so coffee then orange juice. I don't know what we'll have next time.
God, you will
I
sleep well tonight.
I might progress to cider next time.
Bloody hell, scary stuff.
We'll see.
Scarier still is day 2, which is best audio, best visuals, and then something a little bit different. We like to bring the new awards.
Different.
Best visuals
Penis.
last year.
Oh.
Who'd like to guess what won best visuals?
Oh, I didn't even know what came out last year.
Oh, it's a game I'll never forget.
Brad,
God of War?
Dad?
Last year?
God of War.
Was that
Oh, no,
last
that
year?
was
I don't know.
2018.
Death Stranding.
Death Stranding.
Oh,
yeah.
Just
gosh.
somehow beat Control, Gears 5, Luigi's Mansions, and
Yeah,
Devil
it
May
did.
Cry 5.
Because
Yeah.
it still looks unreal.
Yeah. Death Stranding. Yeah.
But I'm going to throw you a curveball because we're not doing the best visuals. We're doing best audio. What won that last year?
Death Stranding.
No, that was third place.
Gears.
Gears won best audio with A Plague Tale, Death Stranding,
fair,
Devil
yeah.
May Cry 5, and Blair Witch. And this year's best audio, we have a 10-game shortlist. This is an interesting one. Risk of Rain 2, Paper Mario: The Origami King, The Last of Us Part 2, Marvel's Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Demon's Souls, Fuser, Immortals: Phoenix Rising, Black Ops Cold War, Call of Duty, Ghost of Tsushima, and Astro's Playroom. Have at it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, Fuser kind of feels like an automatic.
It feels like a cheat
The
to me,
game is audio, isn't it? I mean,
I don't know if it deserves to be in this.
Go on,
I
Chris.
Wow.
Only because the songs are the songs we've heard countless times, right? And I get that they are on different keys. They've been
Pitch
played around
shifted,
with
key
and stuff like that.
shifted.
yeah, but
pretty
like, is this a
impressive.
top 3 now?
5. No, we're always top 5. Top 5s.
Apart from biggest disappointment,
Bit disappointing.
because we
yeah.
want to try not to be miserable.
Basically, that
Right.
is exactly it. Try not to be
Yeah,
too
so
miserable.
I think like I can see 5 others that are on this list that beat it.
I wouldn't be too keen to cut Fuser because
No,
the
but
way
I-
they shifted the pitch shifting, the way you could, it's got studio tools in there to create your own.
Yeah,
Stuff,
as
I
the
wouldn't
first
be-
cut, I feel like that's very, very harsh.
I
on
would-
user.
I can spot a lock already.
Oh, well, maybe too soon for that. Hold on to that. Hold on to that.
Maybe. Okay.
So Chris, wow, yeah,
What
actually
should be
almost.
cut?
Well, I'm almost speechless at that. This will surprise you. Do you know this is a very strong list already? We've got to cut half these. I think maybe Immortals.
I think compared to what's on that list, I'd probably
Only
put
because of that.
Immortals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I'm
I-
just
I was
thinking I
thinking
quite
that.
like the voice acting. The music it works, but I also will say this much, right? And I know Chris, you've played more of this than me, so I reckon when I say this to you, fucking hell, that song when you press the start button. Ooh. Yeah, all right. Could you not have made maybe one more song for the menu because it's the same,
I know.
and you're never in the menu for long enough to hear the whole thing. It's just,
I know.
like that.
Like the music is like I love the music, but that does get fucking tedious.
Oh God!
but
don't
like
it just...
but audio covers like
Oh, it's the lot. Yeah.
Covers voice acting, and like
I quite like the voice acting.
Is really good for
The
what it does,
narration's
'cause
great.
The narration's fantastic.
Mhm.
The gods are all very good.
Did you find some of that? I don't want to. I know not everyone's far into this, but speaking of the gods, so I assume they like hired multiple voice actors for each god because, like, to speak of Aphrodite, she's in a we don't tend to spoil. I should mention before we get too far in, we probably won't be spoiling in this episode. We will be as the weeks go on. You will hear some keyboard clacking. Go back and listen to day one. I explained all this. Come on now. In this game, you like each god is in a kind of a different form. That's the basis of the story, that they're not themselves.
Yeah.
The voice, the first female god you encounter has in that form is definitely either a different voice actor or a very different performance from when she's not in that form and she's back to herself.
I think it's the same actor, but
Oh,
they've done something different. Like because
the God of War's very similar.
Ares
Yeah.
is a fucking MVP in this game.
Yeah.
Because he's a chicken. He's a God of War. He's a chicken.
Yeah.
His essence has been taken and he's a chicken. And
everything I just said about spoilers, by the way, forget
but it's
that.
not a spoiler. Because
It's a bit of a spoiler.
A little bit.
I'm
but,
not there yet.
all right, he's not a chicken. He's a goat.
he's
There we
actually
go.
technically a rooster, I believe. So
All right, yeah.
But I will say, big ups, in case we forget, big ups for the amount of cock jokes they sort of make.
Oh, and
Big
replacing
fan.
the word fuck with cluck.
Yep, big fan of that. Yep. But like
But
his
I love
voice
the- I
in that
love the-
form, and
the
then like
voice
when he's
acting of everyone. But whatever, because
yeah,
it's not just that. It's the audio effects and all that kind of thing. Like
it's all good.
it's great. It's good, but top 5.
It doesn't make you go like, oh yeah, and remember that bit. Like the only bit that really does is that God music. It's like oh, like just
Yeah, I mean, I've not played as much.
no, and
so,
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. That's all I'll hear now. So thanks, and I've still got
There's
however many hours left to go. But
There's
Lots.
I feel like there are others on this list where when you're thinking about good audio, they're the ones that come to your mind first. Against this,
There's a similar one on this list.
Did
I'd say
I
the same
introduce
thing about,
Mick?
to be honest.
I mean, he doesn't need any introduction.
No, but
does he?
did I definitely introduce everyone at the beginning of this podcast? Am I having
Yes, you
Okay,
mentioned
Adam,
my
did I
beard
mention? Did I? I
growing.
did. I just had a
I
silence.
actually.
You don't know, do you? But
No,
Adam's
You
here.
did introduce everything.
no, you did introduce us.
All the same people that were here yesterday are here, just in case. Just in
Just
case.
random voices.
It's the
talking.
Christmas spirit. It's got me all excited. Sorry, Mick.
There
What were
you
you saying
go.
about a song that's? Well, I have some Christmas spirit.
I wasn't. I was saying that
Okay.
if you pop Immortals off the list, I
Okay.
would probably pop off Ghost of Tsushima as well.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't blow because there's
That
stuff
was
on
maybe
there
over
that I've
dramatic.
been.
Sorry, that was maybe a
There's-
little bit over dramatic. I
There's
apologise.
stuff on there that does more things with its audio than I think Ghost of Tsushima and Immortals do. Not saying it's not got good audio.
I'm with you, Mick. I think Ghost is probably.
I mean, it's got with headphones. It's got some great
You
music
don't
in the
like
background.
suddenly. You don't like riding along on a horse and you sort of hear in the background. Then you're like,
but I'm not
"Ooh,
enough
where's that
to
coming
be
from?"
like. But like, take for example something else on the list like Demon Souls, where you play that with headphones. I mean that. I don't know. It's a different level. Same as Black Ops, Cold War, different level.
Hang on.
I think you're onto something because like Ghost of Tsushima has fucking top visuals.
Mm.
When it comes to the audio, nothing like I can't remember. Oh God, can you remember the sound of the wind?
The only thing I can remember
Yeah.
is the sound of the wind coming out the
Yeah, I
PlayStation
don't
controller.
feel like Ghost of Tsushima
Like-
did anything with its audio where I'm
Nah.
like,
Like,
that's
nothing got me at all in that game.
I mean,
in
There's
the
a
its
music
couple
audio.
of
was all right.
Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
But-
So,
Because there's at least two
Huh.
games on that list that I would lock in straight away, and
so
that ain't
are,
one of them.
are we cutting Immortals and Ghost?
I would. If
Yeah.
it was my list,
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
Chris?
straight
Hyde?
away.
I've not played Ghosts, but I was gonna recommend Immortals. So yeah, I'm not.
Okay. Wow. They're both gone then. We are down to 8. Like, I mean, this is no. Just carry on. Not going to say it.
don't say anything.
Okay, can I give you my lock? What I would suggest for a lock? Can I suggest a lock?
Yeah,
now
of
we've
course.
cut to
Yeah.
Risk of Rain 2.
I was about to suggest that for a cup.
Really?
So if
Oh,
it was
okay.
best music,
I think what it does with the music is what I like
that's
about
kind of
Risk
what I'm
Rain
getting
2.
at. Like the music progressively goes.
Yeah. I mean, I like the music in the game. There's never, but I like what it does with
But
the
can you
music.
name
I like
another
that it,
part of that game's audio? That's what I'm kind of thinking. I can only think of that
the
music
pew,
going.
pew pew of the guns is fairly satisfying.
I'd say
Or
it's
the
fairly
horror-
generic.
Pew pew pew.
I'd say the
Okay,
audio.
yeah,
I'm not saying shut it off now, but
I just think that of the games on that list, I think it does some good stuff with its audio.
it's clever the way the audio is used
Yeah,
as part of
I
the
think
gameplay, and that
I think
maybe
that's it.
brings it back into contention, does it?
I
Yeah,
think that's why it's deserving of this list. I feel there's better audio uses still on this list. So I was veering more towards cut than lock.
Well, we only need 3 cut to be in a really early, let's face it, an early list idea here. I just,
Okay. Has anyone else got anything that they would fight for on that list? Though?
yeah, I've got stuff I'd fight for. I've got one more I would cut. In fact, I've got 2 more I would cut.
Go on, give your 2 there, Ed.
No, I've got 1 and maybe a second. I'll go for the. You're not going to like it.
One.
Whoever's boiling the kettle, by the way, that's I'm telling you now.
Let me just hit mute right.
There we go.
I'm just going to tell you now that you are really not going to like this one. Really strongly going to be. I'm going to get. In fact, you better unmute, Adam, because you're going to be the first one to. I'm going to maybe say that the audio is not the best part of
Don't say it. Don't
Astro's
come on.
Playroom.
Astro's Playroom.
Oh,
yeah.
that's all right. You can say that.
Oh,
I'm actually all right with that too.
Yeah, I agree.
It is. Again,
so is
it
that
comes
dying
back
cat
to
as well.
yeah.
I'm just trying to think of some of the audio from that game. That it's
Slowly
all
deflating
related
a
to the
balloon.
Yeah.
It's all related to the controller, isn't it? Like when you spring, it comes out of the. A lot of that is based on the. Because I was thinking about that game, and I was thinking about games on PS5 where a lot of the controller is used for the audio and stuff. Like I don't know if you guys have discovered this. It's sort of unrelated, but Demon's Souls is on this list. Did you know that if you haven't muted the PlayStation controller and you're holding it and you haven't got a headset in, it actually records the audio when you do a trophy unlock and it does the video thing? Did you know that? So it's sort of like if you like go,
recently,
yeah, like it's a lot of the
It's
stuff
just
like
loads of recordings ever go. Get in.
absolute. Yeah. But like with Astros, all I can think of is the kind of stuff that comes out of the PlayStation. Like, oh no, saying that there's some pretty good songs in that game. GPU.
Yeah,
there's some pretty good music, isn't there?
Yeah, and it's SSD, isn't it? Okay, it's S, and then there's the thing with the song that's playing. You go and find the lyrics on the wall.
Oh, maybe I was hasty.
But I do think that when you're listing off the best aspects of that game,
yeah, it's
the audio is further down.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. So I kind of get it. I wouldn't be. It's not something I would fight really passionately for, if I'm honest.
Look, I'll give me other half one then that I was sort of pushing.
Go on.
Paper Mario.
When
I can think of one really bit. Yeah, one bit. One bit.
You were supporting that. You said
no, I
fucking
supported
bass
one
slaps.
bit of the bass slapping music in that game.
Yeah. Like I'm kind of.
I can't think of anything else in that game audio-wise. All I can think of is that bass slapping boss music. It's fine.
I'm okay.
It's fine. Like the audio with that is fine.
I can't.
I think again it comes back to what do I like most about Paper Mario? I wouldn't come back and go, well, it's the audio.
Yeah, maybe in another category.
It better be.
Yeah. It will.
So I again, it's good in the same way that Astros is good.
I just can't think of anything apart from that bit of music. Like I really no one speaks in it, do they? Do they even speak? I don't think like Olivia. She doesn't actually speak, does she? It's all text.
No, it's all text.
It's all text.
I think so.
So there's
memory. No. So I think other than like Toad screaming and stuff like that. But,
which is
so
fantastic.
I think it kind of does have to go a heavy heart, but I think it does. I'm interested to hear about, because I know some of this, but I'm interested to hear about Black Ops Cold War a bit more.
I just think it's a phenomenal big blockbuster production, full stop, and it just sounds great.
It's got a good soundtrack.
Oh, the
because it's got a lot
soundtrack,
of-
Mick, you sold me. Number one.
It's got some fantastic songs on the soundtrack.
Because I've not played like the campaign yet.
Hit
I've
me
been
with
all
your
over the
best
song.
shot.
the campaign's
Hit me with
got-
your
it's got
best shot,
some
Mick.
good- Yeah.
Yeah,
on
you
what?
said
What
that
do
to
you
me
mean?
the other day, and I'm like,
That's one of the songs.
Oh yes, yeah. And
Better
Magic Carpet Ride on the helicopter.
It's
you know,
it's 80s music. It's perhaps
Yeah,
an easy win for
and-
them, but it is a win.
But it's not just that either. It's
No.
also that I think Call of Duty in general just nails that. You play
Yeah.
Call of Duty in maybe a dark room with your headset on, a decent headset, and it fucking. The audio is always brilliant in Call of Duty, but Black Ops Cold War
yeah.
just.
But even
mean,
the
it's
multiplayer audio, when you can hear the boots running around with the
Yeah,
headphones on, like
yeah.
it's.
I think. Yeah, I mean, in zombies as well, I definitely hear it in terms of. you
And
can
in
see-
zombies, they're probably using stuff they've had in zombies games for.
Yeah, but it
yeah.
works. It's got
Yeah.
such a great effect, and I think they did very, very well. Audio, yeah, I really like.
It feels
Cold War.
a bit because I feel like we'd be cutting it because but of course it has. It's got millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So
No, it should be celebrated.
fair,
'Cause
is
it's,
it?
it's the
Yeah, of
guns
course
as
it
well, the
should.
sound of the
'Cause they-
guns.
they-
and
Yeah.
They don't need to do
detail.
that shit to sell a Call of
the
Duty.
attention
game.
to detail. No, you're right. You know, they could put out the same fucking game with new skins
So-
and people would buy it.
So
But
what
they
the hell
don't
are
do
we?
that. They pay attention.
No, you're right. That is right. What the hell are we cutting?
I
tell you-
think the two we have to cut are Risk of Rain 2 and Astro's Playroom. That'd be mine. That,
I mean, I
the
did
remaining
lock-
5 would be my 5, but
I locked Risk of Rain because I like what it does. But then when you look at it compared to, I suggested locking, sorry, Risk of Rain. But you look at it compared to the audio, like the use of audio in games like Demon Souls.
Can we
Black
talk
Ops
about
Cold
Demon
War.
Souls before we
Mhm.
move? Is Chris White hasn't played it at time of recording. Adam's a bit. Everyone who's played it, are we saying that's a lock then? Because I do think the audio's good.
I
just
think
really like those kind of soundtracks. So
Oh,
scoring.
No, but
yeah.
I've heard
I
people talk
think
about
it
the
does
3D
some
audio like it's insane, and this is going to sound like twattish, but I generally look out for the audio in games. I wouldn't say that it stood out to me as being more exceptional than
I tell you what,
previous
they
things
did.
that-
yeah,
They
like, it's good.
removed certain things as well.
They changed some of the
remember-
music.
Yeah, some of the things like in the prison level in particular, there were some audio cues that I was waiting for that my sort of sense memory was waiting for because I played the first
Right.
the original so much that didn't come, and it's
So-
hard to put your finger on.
Yeah.
it.
So is it?
I
Is it a lock?
I think you said as well. Like I think we were talking about it on the other pod as well. I think it's absence of music on occasion
Yes. Yeah.
is
Yeah.
bold,
That's fair.
and I think that helps. It's a bit like Breath of the Wild. A bit like,
The best audio is silent.
no,
No
but
audio.
No, I know.
when it doesn't need it because it's doing other things, and I think
It's not many
that-
games do that. That is quite brave. Not many producers or directors allow there to be silence because silence allows people to not concentrate. There has to be something pulling you in all directions. That's media, blah, blah, blah. And so it's I just wanted to hear what people thought because I don't
I
feel
think
like
it
it's the
deserves to
stronger
be-
of the
I
list.
don't think it's the strongest. I think if it hit the list, it'd hit at number 5 maybe
Okay.
compared to some of those.
So-
I mean, we haven't mentioned The Last of Us Part 2.
No, but
and-
again, I think that's one where everyone just assumes that's an absolute
Yeah,
Stonewall
because
lock.
again, the use of not necessarily a soundtrack, although some of the guitar moments are just fucking melt me, but its use of audio in
the
building
explosion, that
tension,
first
in-
explosion, by the way, still
Yeah.
like
and just stuff
yeah.
like when
I
when you're
shit.
hiding and they're looking for you, and
yeah.
you, it's
The
just
Last of Us is a
spectacular.
lock. Like it
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
It does sound like Risk of Rain 2 and Astros.
I could
doesn't
live
it?
with that. I would live with that list personally.
Oh,
I think Astros does some good stuff because if you're talking audio and you're saying but it's just what comes out of the controller. I mean that's the audio, isn't it? The way
It
they
is- no,
use
it
that
is,
with
yeah,
the dual sense is that they does some really cool stuff.
just to be completely clear, before I cut Astros and Risk of Rain, we're definitely sure Fuse is top 5.
I haven't played it, so I can't say.
Yeah, I'm the same.
I assume it's a music game. It's got to do something special. But
You want
like
to be
Chris
the
said,
audio would want to be good.
Well, you're
Well, yeah, but
dropping,
like
you're
Chris
dropping
said,
different
though,
stems into each. So you've got 4 songs, so 4 tracks: bass, drums, guitar, or synth or whatever. Excuse me, and vocals. And you drop each track into one of those spots, and it will pitch shift or tempo shift so that, like, for example, we mentioned it the other day, like, X Can Give It Ya is a very different tempo to Take On Me, but they will be pitch shifted so that they are in time with one another, and they never sound like, Adam, this will probably mean the most to you, but if you can pitch shift something and it will sound awful because it's been pitch shifted too far. And in this game, essentially, you are going from a low C to a high C almost. You know, it is every note in between that these songs are all running the gamut of. It never sounds like that. So they've either been very clever with the song selection so that they are never going from, say, a low C to a high C in terms of pitch shifting, but it just sounds great. And it also makes you feel like you're amazing because you might know nothing about music, but you drop those tracks in, they work. They all work.
I kind of
like, as
feel
ridiculous as you think they're going to sound, you'll drop them in almost thinking, this is going to sound so bad, and then a minute later you're like, oh shit, this is actually pretty good, isn't it? Like, this is all right. I'll play this on the speakers and people would, that's what you're doing.
I kind of feel like
if
if User isn't getting somewhere on a best audio list, they must have done.
Yeah.
Let's cut Let's cut Risk of Rain 2.
Let's cut Risk of Rain 2, which I know I said to lock originally, but I keep doing that. I'm going to stop suggesting lock
So what?
because you're all fuckers.
Call Astra's Playroom.
Okay. Are we sure?
I just yeah.
Yeah,
we're
I
not
think you got a strong 5.
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone happy? This is record
Yeah.
timing. This is brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay. We haven't spoken about Miles Morales. And it does something. I love it when games do this. I remember so many games that have done this over the years. When he puts his headphones on and then takes them off, and the volume, it's such a simple effect. And I bet it's not hard to do, really.
So that happens. That happens in Spider-Verse when he's listening to that Post Malone tune at the beginning. He's just like doing his thing, and then he takes it off and he gets called. Then it happens in the game as well. I have to say, right, both Spider-Verse and Miles Morales, I don't know what it is, but they've always managed to get a tune, such as that Post Malone song, something that I'm just so not. It's not my bag of music,
not my
and I'm just so into the tune. And in this game, they have a tune by Kid Cudi and fucking I think someone is called Jaden, and it's like On My Own. It's really early days. It comes on. I think
Is that like the one he plays at the beginning when you first you get a first call to go to meet Peter, or to meet your mate in the
you're
park?
Just swinging everywhere
because it's such a good song as well. It comes on,
good tune.
and it starts as you take off, and it ends as you get there, and it's like it's really really clever.
And you never want it to end. You're like, oh, this is fucking brilliant. I'm loving this vibe, and I think a lot of that is amazing. I think what the strength in Miles Morales is the level of like tunes that they put in. Like I think there's a lot of care. Because a lot of those songs, for me personally, are quite naff. I'm just like, it's not my thing.
You wouldn't listen to them otherwise.
I would not listen, but I have been listening to like a playlist on Spotify for this game and stuff with all these kind of tracks, and I just think like the sound of the web slinging and it just in terms of Spider-Man, it's all nailed. It's all nailed.
It's the subtle things as well, like the feet on the window. Like the taps along the window, the wind through the trees, the audio of the people talking on the street, and the
absolutely
stars
and their responses to him and everything.
Yes.
It's very that it's
and the voice acting
is very very believable.
Like, Miles is I don't know who it is.
No,
I wish I knew his name so I could kind of give him credit. But the guy who does Miles Morales is brilliant, and the Tinkerer, she's really interested in the character as well, and they're just well acted. Like, voice acting is massively important to me, and if that isn't right, then the story or the game just doesn't work.
No,
and they get it spot on, and that's just another, feather in the cap. I think it's definitely worthy of being in here.
So, we've sort of talked about all 5.
I'm just gonna say right now that is exactly my top 5 that we have.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, it is, isn't it?
I think I don't. Oh, I might even swap 3 and 5, but that's just me.
Oh wow!
I think.
I mean, I wouldn't be against that. I mean, I should say the way it currently reads is Last of Us wins, Miles Morales in 2nd, Demon's Souls 3rd, 4th Fuser, and 5th Black Ops Cold War. Totally by accident. I would leave it at that. I wouldn't fight for it, but I do think that Black Ops does Yeah.
a little bit more with its audio maybe than Demon's Souls.
I think as well, when you consider it's across all those modes,
Yeah,
how
and
impressive
I do
it is.
think it just it's more of an impressive audio package. I think Black Ops, because you've got the soundtrack and you've got those sound effects. And
So would
got
you
that
swap Demon
immersion.
Souls to 5th, or would you push Fuser to 5th?
I haven't played Fuser, so I'd happily push Fuser to 5th. And I would read Last of Us, Miles Morales, Black Ops,
Right.
Demon Souls, Fuser. But that's me personally, and I haven't played Fuser. I don't know if anyone's played everything on that list except you.
I have, I think.
Yeah, so
I think
I have.
Chris Hyde has, yeah.
I've just not
Yeah,
played the
yeah.
campaign of Black Ops. That's the only thing.
the only thing I haven't played on there is Fuser, but I am happy with the list. It's close enough to leave it at that and not argue it.
No, but
frankly.
I do
Feel
feel
strongly
a
enough.
little bit like Black Ops is getting a bit of a doing in 5th because it's this.
Black Ops.
It's the
yeah.
biggest budget
yeah.
game on the list, isn't it?
And I do think it does a
It's what?
spectacular job. with
I
that
said you
audio.
haven't asked me yet, Mr. Cook.
No, no,
shall
go
tell
on.
you that I think Black Ops deserves higher than 5th. Across all the modes, it is incredible.
Yeah.
But I would essentially put BO between Miles and Demon Souls
And just push them down.
push them down.
I think I would also. I think I'd feel more. I just feel like it's.
I can live with that.
Black Ops is almost that discussion of but it's Black Ops. It's Call of Duty. And it's like but that doesn't. It's not fair on the people who put the work in. They are probably paid more or better. Chris Hyde.
I'm fine with that. To be honest, I don't feel passionate enough about between those three. I think I'm pleased that Fuse has made the top 5. I think it deserves to be there. I think the fact that Chris was kind of umming and ahhing about it probably means it does need to be 5th, because we're not all sold on it, the ones that have played it. It makes sense to me.
So
do we want to talk more about The Last of Us Part 2?
I was going to ask that actually.
The thing is
some of
the
you
last
guys that have played more of that.
But The Last of Us Part 2 is going to be discussed. It's a lot. And should we spend too long talking
I
talking about it
think
now?
there's a lot that needs saying at the minute.
No, I mean you
what
can.
Mick said earlier about the music and
Yes.
the guitar parts, the way that guitar plays almost another character in this game. Of its link, the thing that links Joel and Ellie together, despite what happens. I'm trying not to spoil anything.
No, that's another reason I'm a bit.
There's, but no, just the moment that song he sings, the Pearl Jam song, that he's like, fucking hell, that's right at the start of the game.
Sort of
Nothing
ruined
has
it for me
happened.
when I found out it was Pearl Jam. Don't like them.
See, it did ruin it for me because I love Pearl Jam, but I haven't
Can't
listened
stand
to
Eddie
anything
Vedder.
in the past 10 years. But it's so beautifully sung. I like Troy Baker. Fucking
Oh, fair play to
Wow.
anyone. I mean, there's no
Wow.
single performance I can point out in this game
no,
from a
I
voice
just meant
acting way
with
because they're all
with the singing as well. Like he's got such a like haunting voice, and
terrific soundtrack.
Even
the original soundtrack's terrific.
even
Yeah.
outside of the soundtrack itself, I think the in-game audio is
Yeah,
on
that
a
was what I
different
was
level
saying.
all
Yeah.
together.
That was what I was saying.
And like when I honestly I've played this entire game with headphones and I'll never ever forget going to that workbench and then hearing the and running up
Oh,
and the lag
in the high-rise
all
building.
that kind of use.
I
like,
messaged you about that moment,
It
I
is.
think, when we were.
it is
it's cracking.
serious business when it comes to the audio.
When you're
department.
up high, as
When you're
the-
up high, I was going to mention
yeah,
that.
yeah.
When
Later
when
in the
you're
game,
when
very
you're
high
really
up.
up high, the audio there that makes it. It's a bit like Miles Morales actually when you're swinging through
yes,
the air.
it gives
It's a
you
bit like
almost that sort of.
You really feel it's not just obviously what you can see. You really feel through the audio how high you are and
Yep.
the wind blowing through you, and it unnerves you more than it has any right to.
Yeah.
And I think as well, like the other one that comes to mind, I'm not going to spoil it.
I was going to say going through a village.
Yeah.
The audio there, if you wore headphones during wow, like
yeah.
So there
Was
you
that-
go. Like that. That's,
what was the bit you were going to say, Chris? Without
I was
spoiling?
I was gonna say the moment you don't want to do something, or
Oh my god, I forgot about the bloody
but-
bass synths in this game.
yeah, that moment because like I left it
Jesus.
alone for a bit and just it kept going and
Yeah.
that was just so
Makes
powerful.
you feel like your pulse is raising.
I felt like I was vibrating. And
Yes.
I think
Very great, yeah.
loads of different examples of that, and I think I'm obviously not spoiling anything. But
No,
It's there are so many occasions in this game where the audio does that. It kind of reinforces the moment.
The hammer in the jungly area, the woods.
Yeah.
Ice Cube as well. Fucking Ice Cube's in it. So that's instantly like top 5 for me.
Oh.
When you're crawling through somewhere and you see someone.
It's fucking so stupid, isn't it? that bit,
someone.
Something happens to someone at some point, and then this is why I said about.
But I guess the point is the audio does a really good job of reinforcing the key moments of the game, which we're not going to spoil. It does such a good job of that.
No, but people will talk about everything about. People don't talk about audio enough in games, and we're kind of guilty of it by rushing through this. Well, we haven't rushed through it; it's a decent amount of time, but. The story's amazing. We'll talk about that in best story. The visuals, of course, which we're coming to the best visuals in the next category, and of course, The Last of Us is on the shortlist. But the audio makes I mean, think of the moments they showed it actually before the game was out. The sort of underground train section where there's a lot of red light and clickers. Again, it's that thing of just bring the music down and just the noise.
It's a perception of distance as well. Like you know exactly where they're going to be because you hear rumblings in the distance, but it's not too far away. But you never exactly. You can never be comfortable. You've always got that dread because of how well you can hear like the clickers in the distance or what are they fucking called? The soldiers.
Yeah, the wolves.
Well, yes,
the wolves or the
No, the
other ones. Where they're whistling.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. I've forgotten the names.
I can't fucking remember.
But also just before we sort of finalise that, there's a boss fight in that game which I know is a bit. Some people didn't like it. I loved it.
I didn't like the boss fight.
But the audio leading up to that boss fight is the audio terrifying.
That is. Yeah, I don't want to get into the spoiler of the moment. But
reminiscent of the T-Rex in Jurassic Park.
Yeah, the crescendo to that.
And you kind of know it's coming.
And it's really interesting because there's a crescendo and then there's a moment's pause.
Yes.
There's like a I don't want to spoil it, but you don't like open door when there it is, right? So there's a moment's
not a closet
pause.
One.
Yeah, and then it is, and it's so clever, and you're right that it hints to it almost in a kind of Resident Evil type way, doesn't it?
Yeah, you're going to fight boss, and
really, really well done, really well done.
So best audio, congratulations to The Last of Us Part 2 with Miles Morales in second, Black Ops Cold War in third, Demon's Souls in fourth, and Fuse in fifth. Best visuals then. A bit of a longer list. Not much longer, but we've got Paper Mario the Origami King, Demon's Souls, The Last of Us Part 2, Miles Morales again, Godfall, Black Ops Cold War, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Astro's Playroom, Immortals Phoenix Rising, NBA 2K21, Dreams, Ghost of Tsushima, Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate, and Gears Tactics. Lots of games there. Do you know I'm going to add Hades to that list? If am I going to add it and you're going to cut it straight away, guys?
I was going to say this. Right, first cut Hades.
You don't think Hades is gorgeous?
I think I think it's gorgeous.
No, I did. I was joking. Sorry.
Because I would argue one of the things that the Supergiant do best is visual design. Is like their visual design is outrageous. No, just me.
So,
I mean, Spiritfarer is not on this list. Do we? I'm just saying.
That's true, actually.
I'm just saying.
I wouldn't have thought of it. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
It looked pretty enough on PC. I
mean, sorry, there is definitely one that needs adding here. Ori and the Will of the Wisps. No, for best visuals.
Yeah, that should have been there.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm adding that now. So, what are we deleting?
We're up to 16.
Is Gears Tactics on this
I'm
list?
Yeah, I was just about to say cut Gears Tactics. I haven't played the fucking thing, but I'm looking at everything else and I'm like, Gears, I'm sorry, you just don't stand a chance, really.
Yeah, but I tell you what though, I put Gears on there because I do think, I mean, I know I played it on PC and it looked really, really good because I had everything up to fucking Ultra and what have you, but the cutscenes in that game I think are fucking fantastic to look at, and I do think there's a crazy level of detail, and not just in like the environments, which there is, the detail in the environments is nuts in Gears Tactics, but also in things like, I know it's probably easy, I don't know, or in terms of game development, it's probably not a difficult thing to do compared to some things, but they took sort of Gears, the way Gears 5 looks, and they left it exactly as it should be, but they pulled it out into an isometric viewpoint, and they nailed everything visually, like every animation, every movement, the way it doesn't look like just looks like you're playing Gears 5, but you've zoomed out into a different point of view.
See,
And
I don't think it looks anywhere near as good as Gears 5. I think,
and I really, really like the cutscenes, but I'm only saying why I put it on there. I'm not fighting for it. I'm just.
Can I?
So are we?
Can
I just didn't want to dismiss it offhand.
No,
because I think it's. I do think it's better than a couple of things on the list.
Okay.
But can I say though, right? Out of all the categories, this category in particular has one of the most difficult lists in terms of cutting, because I think we've just reached a point in visuals now that it's just like
it becomes a stylistic award, doesn't it?
Everything looks great.
It becomes a stylistic award,
like
doesn't it?
You really have to start. Like, you could be fucking all day talking about each one of these games about how good they look, because they all do look good for what they're doing. But straight off the bat, for me, it's Gears Tactics and Immortals Phoenix Rising is the two that I'm just like, all right, good luck.
I would add Mortal Kombat and Godfall, and I'd cut all four of them.
But Mortal Kombat looks unreal.
It does, but it does not have to do as much as a lot of these other games.
Yeah, so I think,
which is
like,
shitty thing to say, and I'm sorry.
Definitely, but
it's a beautiful game.
We have PS5 games and everything in here, like, and
well, we should have. They are out.
Definitely, but.
I would cut Godfall.
Godfall, I don't like the art style of. Like, I like Godfall, and I won't deny that it looks good, but I loathe that kind of Loki, sort of Thor's Loki kind of gold, everything's shiny. I think the hate the garishness.
I think it's well made in terms of.
It says drinking out of a glass that's got gold stars on it and a gold trim. It literally could be in Godfall.
I think there's a lot wrong with Godfall. I don't think visuals are one of the things that's wrong with it. But at the same time, I wasn't blown away like a lot of people went, God, it doesn't look, it's okay.
I think it's a very well executed visual design.
It's very garish.
I just really don't like it. Can I delete that?
It's not going to get top 5, is it?
No, so. I'm quite happy for you to cut that.
Hang on. Go on. Sorry, I was just saying, are we going to cut Gears Tactics then? Is that...
you can cut Gears Tactics. Okay. I put it on the list, but it's not top 5.
Okay. Am I crazy to say this now? But it just simply didn't wow me as much as it seemed to wow everyone else in this area, especially with its photo mode.
Oh, okay. No, I'm back.
Ghost of Tsushima. No. Look, I know. It looks good, but I'm not like going, holy shit! Like,
but there's an interesting thing here, man.
So many times.
This is the thing, right? So you played the predominantly, and this is not a kind of I've got the PS4 Pro, but you played that on a PS4 standard, right? I can't speak for that, but what I will say is on PS4 Pro in 4K, and on PS5 now in 4K, I think there's something to be said for the art direction in that game, which obviously is a big part of the visuals, and there are things I don't like. Like, I think it tries to pretend it's Breath of the Wild style, just look around and you'll find stuff, but not really, because there's a bird up there that's definitely taking you to a collectible. There's a fox taking you over there, and you swipe the wind, and the wind leads you, and I don't like... I actually would rather there was just a waypoint I could go to than that wind. I've always found that wind thing annoying every hour I played it, but I would rather it was just a fucking waypoint. Because let's not pretend this game is like completely uncluttered and there's no UI. Like, trying to switch between your kunais or whatever and all the things that you can use in that game is clumsy and massively intrusive UI-wise. But I do think the art style's pretty good. It also gets a bit silly when you start wearing all the gear. Like, you know, in cutscenes you're suddenly wearing like a mask. It's like a...
I can't take. Oh, sorry. Carry on. Go on.
No, I was just going to say, I just dislike when I see like the photo mode is what makes everyone go, because the photo mode is good.
No, the photo mode is not the game. The photo mode is you able to change how the game looks.
I played that game and I just feel like I'm kind of going, go, like, there's a massive lack of expression in NPCs and stuff that just doesn't exist for me in that game.
Okay.
And it's just like, okay, leaves, wind. I know I'm being very harsh on it, but I'm just kind of, I have to start picking at the list, and I'm kind of going,
No, you're right.
Ghost didn't wow me. Like, you said Mortal Kombat a while ago, Ed. Like, whenever I see Mortal Kombat or like a fighting game now of that from Netherlands, I'm just like, fucking hell, that looks serious.
Yeah, but the funny
Like-
thing is when you go back a game, they don't. Each one looks better
Yeah.
than the last, but if you go back to Mortal Kombat 9, which I did, that looks rough. That looks quite rough in play. Not
but like-
bad, but compared to the modern...
I don't feel very strongly about many games on this list, but I feel really,
Oh.
really strongly that Ghost of Tsushima needs to at least stay until we,
I can stay. Okay, but okay.
until we're chopping at the final few. I
Let's-
think.
Let's try a very difficult one, I feel, which would be Dreams.
No, I think Dreams is an easy one. Like, that is a straight cut for me. Because everything...
Well, I've
that
never
you-
played it, so I
But
don't
everything
know. But
you
I'm
would
just...
It is
say
what
this
you
game looks
make, though,
amazing.
isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
People are taking assets from other things and making and putting them into Dreams. Like, that is not...
If you're just going into it and looking at the menus and playing around in that like hub area, the visuals are average at best.
Yeah, like
It's when you go in
yeah.
and if
When
you
you do
spend
things.
hours and hours and hours to create a painting of the Mona Lisa or
Yes.
recreate
Oh, it's amazing.
something else, like you can really make some decent stuff, but as a game, like
Yeah.
no, they're not anything special.
No, Dreams has got to go.
I'll give you another cut.
Go on.
Go on.
NBA 2K21.
I was
Really?
not
Interesting.
expecting
Because
that.
I thought you were going to keep that.
No, I'll tell you why. Like on next gen, like the last on PS4, it was very similar to NBA 2K20. On PS5, a lot of the visuals, like don't get me wrong, they are
They look good.
stunning, right?
Yeah.
But
All
what
that sweat.
2K seem to have done is only really paid attention to the main players, the kind of the main roster.
FIFA
So
style.
all your like all stars, and I'm not saying like not everyone on the team looks good, but there's certainly like
There's a big drop off.
There's a disparity
usage of-
there.
yeah, like
It's
look
like
at-
playing as Liverpool.
the-
Like they've got players playing right now who are playing because other ones are injured, and if you play as them in FIFA, you're like they don't look anything
Yes,
like them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
okay.
you go to like the G League and like you like
Yeah.
for Boston, like the players that don't play in the starting five or on the bench, they look like they've been taken from.
See, that's
2K20.
surprising because there's
With,
the only
they just
game
look
in
like there's a bit
town.
of a sheen on them, but there's and like one thing that 2K20 did shit was when you play my team and you can get players from like the 70s, 60s. They looked awful. They don't look much better now.
Really?
The coaches don't look great. Yeah, it's like
Okay.
they're trying to recreate them from when they were younger. So
Oh,
like Julius Irving, who was around like in the 70s, 80s, he's much older. Like it would look.
Yeah.
So they have to kind of go from photos
Okay.
rather than
Yeah.
having them come in like LeBron, scan them, get all that perfect. So that the visuals, there are issues with the visuals. So the whole
Right.
game isn't perfect.
okay, that's
But-
fine.
It doesn't deserve to be on the list when you've got
Absolutely
Ghosts
fine.
and you've got
Let's-
Last of Us.
Let's cut it. Who suggested Immortals to cut? I heard
I
that.
did.
I think though, if you play it, you feel
It-
differently.
That's fine, but
It
that,
is-
I totally. But
Let
I'm
me just say this one
whatever I
thing.
see of it,
Let me say this
It looks-
one thing about that game.
yeah.
I don't want to admit it. I've been taking photo mode pictures in that game.
Oh, you dirty bastard!
I don't do it.
You?
I
No.
don't do it.
Who are
See,
you?
I do. Yeah.
See, I don't, and there's been moments where I've just been like, it's really pretty.
Yeah, because it looks. But
It
has
doesn't
this-
look
it has
great
this-
in stuff I've seen, but playing it on my telly in front of me, I'm not saying it makes the top 5 because there's some stylistically there's competition here that you're like, yeah. I wouldn't cut it yet. I do think Mortal Kombat's hanging by a thread. It's also a re-release. It got its props. There are new games on this list I feel should be given more props. It does look lovely.
This is a tough list, you know.
It's a tough
Yeah.
list, but I think
This is a tough list. I'm
I think
looking
Mortal Kombat is an easy cut on a tough list. I think maybe there's one more, but let's see what people think about Mortal Kombat first, because we've got 12 here. We need to get 7. 7 need to go.
at. I'd agree. Oh, sorry. I keep
No,
doing that.
I mean, it's only
no,
Chris. It's only Chris that's going to fight Mortal Kombat.
I'm not
Yeah.
far
So,
for
so
it.
it's gone. So shall I give the other one?
What's the other one?
I wonder if Black Ops makes a top 5.
I
Definitely looks
don't
good. Definitely looks good.
think- I don't think it's as strong visually as some of those.
I
I
think
tell you
last
what,
year's
it
looks
doesn't.
better.
It's not as strong visually as the last
Modern
one was.
Warfare. I think, and that might be the stylistic, the 80s sort of Vietnam.
I don't think it is. I
You don't
think it
think so?
genuinely doesn't look as good.
Okay.
There were moments during the last year's one where you shot someone and went, "Fuck, I just fucking shot a real person."
Yeah.
I think the cutscenes in Black Ops, in Cold War, too many fucking titles.
It is.
I think they're good, but I think last year was just better. Some of the
also,
character
like,
models were just amazing.
In creating a hub in this game, they've given you moments where you go up and talk to people face to
up
face,
close, and
it just doesn't look as good as the rest of the game. Like, there's too much of it. Like, there's too much
when it was
opportunity to go up to
pure
them.
Cutscenes,
Yes,
in the
and
last
that's
game,
the difference.
It looked better.
They've cut back on the cutscenes perhaps and given you more gameplay, which is, I really like Black Ops Cold War.
I think if no one's going to fight for that, I think you could cut it safely.
I think the only other person who might again is Mr. White.
No,
Okay.
no.
I mean, it's Jesus Christ. There's still 10 games there.
Mhm.
I added Hades late, and I genuinely think that game is beautiful.
I do too. I think the art style is so
It's vibrant, colourful,
Yeah.
crisp.
Yeah, it is,
I think it's absolutely stunning. And yeah, I feel glad I added it. Like, we could have done this and not had that on there. And I think
we just leave it as a top 10 and move on.
I can't. No. Can't be done. Can't be done.
I agree with you on Hades. I think it's a good addition. I'm struggling to see where it fits in a top 5.
See, I
I
think
kind
of
of
the
am
others.
too.
But
I
I absolutely agree with you on where on its style.
I would cut Animal Crossing, and only because, right, Animal Crossing does some great things. It is what it is.
This is the shit you come for.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be anything more than it is. I think the detail in some of the things that you can buy and unlock, I think the little environmental details in the background, the stuff that's going on, great. I don't think it's that visually.
But man, as someone who's played every one of them games.
Yeah, but that's irrelevant, isn't it?
No,
This
let me
is
finish.
about
Let me
this
finish.
game.
Let me finish.
It doesn't do anything.
As someone who's played every
special
one of
at
them,
all.
it
It's a
does though,
fucking-
man, because it's the first one. It's in HD. It's like when you first saw Mario in HD, and you were like, "Oh my god, finally that moment." This is that for me. Like seeing Animal Crossing, that pretty.
Okay, but I get that. I mean, I'm not going to take away your opinion on it, but really, like,
I mean, if I'm
compared to-
outvoted, then. But I think
I mean, I
Animal
just
Crossing is
don't. I
beautiful.
mean, I get where you're coming from, but I don't see Animal Crossing New Horizons in a top 5 list next to, for example, The Last of Us 2, Miles Morales. I mean, it's even Hades. I mean, I know it's a different art style, but I mean, Animal Crossing doesn't do anything.
I think
special. It's just it's got a lot of details and it's very cute. It doesn't do anything that.
I'm in actual pain.
right now
makes it
Immortals is
stand
hanging on by a
out.
thread. If
Yeah,
we're
but
going to if we're going to use that fucking expression again, that is hanging on by a thread here.
2020.
But I genuinely think Immortals is way more impressive visually than Animal. I don't get it with Animal Crossing.
But it's
I don't.
not.
Right, he's
I don't
right.
think the visuals of Immortals looks original or like.
There's
it's
not a lot
taking-
about that game that's particularly original, if I'm honest with you,
It's-
mate.
But I
Let's-
don't think
it's
Animal
taking
Crossing
my-
looks original.
Well,
It
no,
looks
it's like the
same as
12th
other
one.
Animal
But
Crossings.
no matter what though, like
In HD.
I'm not going to argue for Immortals over anything, but I would argue for several of those over Animal Crossing. I mean, you can chop Immortals off that list, and I couldn't give two fucks. But I don't think
That's the
there are
spirit.
some games on the list that I couldn't see chopped. In fact, like you would say objectively that you would rather cut Ghost of Tsushima than Animal Crossing, in which case I think that's fucking insane. But
that
that's
is
just-
one game I
that's
would
just-
cut
that's
before
just
Animal
me.
Crossing. but
I would
that's
because
about
like
it,
there's
yeah.
parts of Animal Crossing. I think the visuals of Animal Crossing are probably my favorite part of that game in general because when you go into like the Dodo Airport or whatever the fuck it is again, I think there's so much charm and cuteness to the whole thing of just like the way they sit on the seats and stuff and like the carry on of everyone and the world and the one or two little butterflies that are flying around with it just is Animal Crossing. That is its aesthetic, and I think like anything that would ever try and do that, you're just going to go, that's Animal Crossing. You're just ripping on it. It has its own thing going.
Nothing
even
else
though
looks like it. They've tried to
it
rip
might
it
not.
off.
Yeah, it
I
might
just
not blow
don't.
your
I
mind.
get what
but,
you're
like,
saying. I just don't. I think as best
Yeah.
visuals, I just
Yeah.
think that's nuts. I
But
can't.
again, this is right. So this is going to get.
I'm not knocking the game. I'm not
No,
knocking
no.
what it does. I'm just saying that on this particular list, fuck me.
It is an interesting one around like the visual fidelity of something like, I don't know, Last of Us Part 2 versus not the blandness of Animal Crossing, but it's like technically not as good, but the amount of kind of emotions that you can convey just through how those character models look and change and all that. It's almost got like a Wind Waker vibe to it going in terms of how much you can convey yourself, but all the other inhabitants that wander around and stuff. It's a difficult one because you look at that and go, it doesn't look like it's HD. It does look nice,
But it's not a difficult one, is it? Because if the question is, and this is the question, are there 5 games in this 10 that are better visuals than Animal Crossing?
the answer is yes.
The answer's yes, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. I don't like it.
No.
No, see,
and you're still hanging on to Immortals. Like, this is the thing.
I'm not hanging on to Immortals. You can cut
I
Immortals,
think they
but
both
also
go.
cut Animal Crossing.
I think they both
It's
go.
what
Can
I'm
I-
hanging on to Ghost of Tsushima.
I think
I'm
that
not hanging
goes
on
to-
to Immortals.
I think
Mick,
that goes
I want to ask
too.
you this. I want to ask you this, Mick. Okay? Can you name me 2 to 3 visual locations or some sort of visual moment in Ghost that struck you? Or do you just... Because for me, I just see the same thing. Not to say it's not all the same. I
Okay.
just see the same aesthetic throughout that game from
But
start
I don't
to
think
finish.
answering that
Okay.
proves anything, because the
Yeah.
question remains as, are there 5 better looking games? And I think the answer to that, when you say, are there 5 better looking games than Animal Crossing, than Immortals, than Ghost of Tsushima, I think that is all 3 of them, the answer is yes.
I don't think you could lose Ghost
I
of
think
Tsushima. off
I
that
think The
list
Last of Us,
comfortably.
Paper Mario, Demon's Souls, I think Hades, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, I think Miles Morales, I think all of those are better looking than those 3 games.
I
Ghost,
really don't.
man.
I think Ghost of
Fucking-
Tsushima is just spectacular looking, and I could name fucking locations.
I
could name,
believe you, but it just doesn't
you know,
serve.
little visual elements, like when you're riding through the fields and he leans down to brush the flowers. I mean, these things matter. These things are visuals.
Okay, so
These
let's
things
hold
where it
on to
tells you to
Ghost
go
then.
to-
Let's
Okay,
hold on
that's
to
fine.
Ghost.
The first fucking thing I felt strongly about.
Okay, but
since
let's
we
hold
started.
Ghost then. Let's hold Ghost. But Animal Crossing, Immortals, they're gone, aren't they?
Yeah,
They're-
I don't
just
mind
gone.
you
There's
lose
just-
Immortals, and if
Yep.
if Ghost of Tsushima
There
doesn't
is-
make the top 5 because we vote that it doesn't, then that's fine. But I don't think it should go out.
Well, then,
yet.
if with
There's
them
going to be a lot
gone,
of people who are going to be butthurt by Animal Crossing. Just going to say that because when they take photos of their house and they've designed it, that's a very important visual thing to them. That's a huge factor of that game. When you
Yeah,
build
I
your
do
house,
agree with you, but I still think there are 5 better looking games.
that's
I
fine.
still think-
but
yeah,
the visual
that's-
part of Animal Crossing is strong when you take a photo of your house.
I agree. I do agree.
That's fine. I've said
Is
my
it
piece.
is it gone or not?
I do agree with Adam Carroll a lot, although I do think when you get down to it,
They're
I
just
think there are
5
5
better
games I'd
looking
rather have
games.
on this list, even though I adore the visuals of Animal Crossing. I agree with you, Adam, but I do think it has to go.
Okay.
Chris, is it gone?
Yeah, I think I can't believe you're overlooking Ghost so much.
I'm
be honest.
not. I'm saying I
Because
think there are 5 better looking
I don't
games.
think there are.
I don't either.
The thing is, there's like, when you're traveling, yeah, it looks great, but there's the stylized things like the jewels that you have, like the showdowns there, the way that's stylized. There's even like the attack that you can use, which is like after you've learnt all the styles, there's another style you can use. That when you click it, the screen goes red and black, and it's stylized in a way like the films, and like there's the Akira Kurosawa
Yes,
like
Filter.
that's a
filter,
filter. yeah.
on. That's really cool. There's so many things that make it look amazing, and
okay.
they do so many different things. It's not just like you're playing for a game that looks beautiful and that's that. It's all the other attention to the styles of it and the cinematography of it as well. The way it's directed, Like it looks like it's being directed. It's not just some game that's playing out in front of you. That you could tell they've spent so much time on.
It makes me stop. It makes me stop. And even after like 40 odd, nearly 50 hours of running around in it, still makes me stop at points and just think, fuck me, someone's put so much effort into making that look like that.
Okay, but we're talking about Ghost of Tsushima when we're not locking it, or we aren't deleting it, but then we do need to find 3 others. Like, that's just the way it works. If you want Ghost of Tsushima, no problem with that.
I haven't played Paper Mario, so I can't comment. I know a lot of people love that, so I can't comment on that.
The variety of that game alone, the design of that game, if it does one thing, it does brilliantly. It's how it looks.
Yeah.
Like that is Nintendo
I would battle a lot
perfection.
more for that than Animal Crossing's gonna. That one has to stay.
It's Nintendo's visual perfection.
Yeah.
Like from the variety to the way they do little gags with what they've got, with stuff they've had for so long, and yet they still find new ways. Like the bomb stuff. Like I just think. I don't see how you have a best visuals list. Like, I'm not saying that Paper Mario ever definitely appears in another list this year, but it has to be in best visuals.
I'm not sure you can realistically cut Demon's Souls off of the best visuals list either. I don't know.
Do we have to cut Astro's Playroom off?
See, this is the one I was wondering about.
Because it looks nice. It does really
look nice.
It looks really nice.
Very crisp. 4K, lovely. Very clean and crisp.
Yeah, but... Again, come back to it. The things that I remember the most from that game, the visuals isn't top of that list.
It's how it plays.
Yeah, exactly, and how it made me feel.
Yes.
Was the other, So I think, and it's because we're getting brutal because there's games on this list that are.
We're in a new generation of consoles. Games are going to look good.
Yeah. And the style of some of these games as well, and the decisions they've taken is very strong. It's a good list, and that's why I feel we have to cut that, not because it looks crap.
Yep.
That's how I feel about Astro's Playroom. I feel like that's the next cut on this list.
It's going to come down to votes, surely, because I don't see why Astro's, Ori, and Hades are in the top. Are going to be in the top 5. Personally,
well,
The Last of Us Part 2, beautiful. Paper Mario, beautiful. Demon's Souls, technology.
But The Last of Us is modern technology, and it does look amazing, and I will not argue that, and I do think it's a lock. But I do feel that part of this award is celebrating like an artistic vision, and so something like Ori and the Will of the Wisps to me is stylistically, artistically phenomenal. I feel Hades is the same.
Ori's a difficult. I don't necessarily agree with Hades,
Miles,
but I would probably cut Ori before. I would cut.
Chris's reaction.
Ori
but the thing is, this isn't. So if you were doing a game,
asking me what my favourite visuals are.
Yeah, but
Miles,
that's best looking. I think Miles is a best looking game. Like, it looks realistic. It's great. The ray tracing's great. But in terms of a memorable art style,
visuals though,
maybe. But and that's what I'm saying.
I think
it's come down to us just choosing.
It is an interesting one because we've got into a new generation. I think there is always this thing, certainly with visuals, given that's always the focus, whether it should be or not. Well, it definitely shouldn't be. I think there will always be games on the next generation that will, by definition, look better than games that are on the old. But that's why I agree more with Adam that this is.
But I don't think that Miles and Demons look better than Ori or Hades.
I don't think I'll agree with you on Miles.
Miles is an amazing looking game, and the ray tracing when you got a telly and you can run it with that on your PS5, and like if you got a telly that's like 4K and OLED, it looks amazing.
Yeah, but it doesn't do anything that makes you stop.
And it uses the city that they already had.
That's what I mean. It's not anything that's.
I don't know, lads. I don't know. No, come on, we're getting wild here with some sayings. Like Miles Morales is absolutely fucking jaw dropping.
It is, but then cut a game is what I'm saying, because I don't see how
Ori and the Will of the Wisp, because it's literally just looks like the first game. It just looks like the first game.
Which, if the first game came out this year, would be on this list as well.
Yeah,
I argue that Ori looks better than Hades.
I look at the art style and go, cool, looks like Ori. Cool. That's it.
That's an amazing achievement to make a whole new art style, and for you to instantly recognise that looks like Ori, rather than that's a realistic New York.
I was more like, when the first game came around, I was like, oh, that looks unreal. The second one comes around, I go, cool, Ori, new one, brilliant, more exciting.
But surely you could say the same. Miles looks like Spider-Man. Like like honestly, there is. I'm being really. I'm not saying that there's no improvement. What I'm saying is, in terms of what you've just said, in terms of reductive style, I'm saying that you could say that That is
No,
what's
no,
true of
like
Miles.
I know, but like, is like from Spider-Man to Miles, like the level of detailing, and yes, it's because of definitely a new console. It just does stand out a little bit more. Like there's a fucking part where it's just early on where you're walking around an apartment in Miles, and I was like,
It's
everything
photoreal,
looks
nearly.
so real. And I was looking out the window at one stage, and I was looking like down the street, and I could see just people walking around. The fact they put that detail in of pedestrians walking around the street when you're not even acknowledged, you're not supposed to go down and look at that. You're not supposed to stare out the window, but I just did it by chance. I was like, holy shit, that's seriously
I
insane.
guess it comes down to, I feel like I prefer when a visual style is arresting because of its aesthetic choices, as opposed to we can do this because we have
Yeah.
a monstrously powerful machine.
think
So I think
that's
we
what
need
I'm
to we
thinking.
need to basically take a vote on what we cut. I think because we have
Yeah.
three games, it cannot be a top 8. It has to be a top 5. So I think we go around the room and we pick one that we cut. We do it the same way we did the other voting, but we do it the opposite way and one that
One
cut.
that we cut.
I'll go
Yeah.
first. I think of these, for me, the first one I'd cut is Miles Morales. Adam Carroll.
Ori.
You said Ori, yeah. Mick Fraser.
Probably Astros.
Okay. Chris White.
Ori.
Okay. Chris Hyde last.
Astro.
I mean, it sounds like Ori's gone. It sounds like Astro's gone, and then we're down
Yeah.
to what we want in the list.
Go ahead then.
Okay. No one's happy. One of these still has to go. And I feel like I know what it's going to be, and I'm going to lose the fight. It's Hades, isn't it? Hades is going to be the one that you all...
Well, yeah. I
Hades
don't
would be
know.
my next cut.
Are
I
you
think.
doing the vote though?
Well,
Because
is it worth it? Because like no one here is cutting The Last of Us. No one here is cutting Ghost of Tsushima. It's been too strongly discussed. It's like Chris and Mick's passion for it is too strong. You can't, same for Paper Mario. I don't think that can go. I feel Demon's Souls is cruising in without too much discussion. But
I think that's because it seems like. But again, I think it might have been Adam who said it earlier. That's bang straight in on next gen. It's not even on the other. So I
No,
guess
but-
they kind of may be working with a little bit more than some
Yeah.
of the other.
When I booted up Demon's Souls last night and played it, like I was after seeing so much footage of the game already, but
No, in person it's
Jesus
something else.
Yeah.
Does
Christ.
knock you for six, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it
The
does.
detail
I
in
was
that
just
game.
like, look at this.
Yeah.
I was like, this is
There's so many,
Man.
just the tiny little details in that are just,
it's crazy.
So let's cut a game then, right? I'll pick first then. So I'm going to go Miles Morales again. Adam Carroll.
I fucking look. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to get Ghost. It's just,
Okay. Mick
Yeah.
Fraser.
Hades.
Chris White. None of these are easy, by the way. No one's enjoying this.
No.
So I've only spent an hour and a half of Hades, but I love it. I love the way it looks.
It looks so good.
I love the way it looks, but the only reason I can't vote for Paper Mario is because I haven't seen it. I've never played it.
Hades.
Chris Hyde.
I was going to say Hades, so I think that's your answer.
There you go.
And it's hard because I love that game, and I think this is the point.
Yeah.
This is a good list.
Okay, that's a cool list.
Oh, it's so not. It's so not. What's last here? Is it Miles Morales or Ghost of Tsushima? Or is it neither?
I feel like they're the two where people have said I think
yeah.
it should be cut. So I feel like those two should be the.
I
ones that
don't
go
get
to-
the Miles thing. I just don't like. I don't
think
get why it's not.
Because
any way-
it looks like a sort of better version of Spider-Man on PS4.
I tell you what I find about that list, and actually why I hesitated with Hades, because I thought Miles at first, but like Adam said, Miles Morales looks fucking mind blowing when you're playing. Like, but I think in terms of arresting visual styles, like every other game on that list has a unique visual style that you can go, I know that's from Ghost of Tsushima, I know that picture's from Demon's Souls, I know that picture's from The Last of Us. I find that Miles Morales, I think on that list, I think that Miles Morales is number 5 for sure. I don't think it does enough that is unique. Like it, I like it. I'm not knocking how it looks. It looks fucking gorgeous. I don't think that. I mean, I was playing it the other night, and my daughter had come in from playing Spider-Man on the PS4 Pro, and I was playing Miles Morales, and she thought we were playing the same game. Now I know that's just at a glance.
That's a kid
I
as
know
well.
it was just at a glance, but aesthetically,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Miles Morales does anything special. I think it looks better objectively than Hades. I like the Hades visual style, but it's not my cup of tea.
Right.
But I do think that Miles Morales deserves to be on this list. But I do, for me, I do think it's 5.
Are we in agreement of number 1?
I think
I don't
so.
think The Last of Us Part 2. I don't know if that was the best looking game this year. I still think
I mean, they
Demon's Souls was
get
better
hair and eyes right. No game does that.
And facial expressions as well.
Yeah, just I think you'd be hard. I mean,
I won't. I don't think I don't think I feel passionately enough to argue it. I just, I really.
I
wanted
think
Ghost
that
of
game's
Tsushima to get on
astonishing.
a list.
There's bits you haven't seen yet where you are that are. Like
Well, I
said,
mean,
the village
just
earlier, like
moments of
wow,
it, just like
tasty moments.
like going
tasty
through that
moments,
village,
you'll
man.
see.
Like,
yeah.
or when you're
Yeah,
high
I-
up, like.
Come here. Hear me out a second, right? How we fix for this, right? Number 1, Last of Us 2. Number 2, in my opinion, I was going Demon Souls. Number 3, Ghost. Number 4, Paper Mario. Number 5, Miles.
I'm with you on 1 and 2. I think Demon's Souls can go up to second. I think Paper Mario's a better looking game than most of the other games on here. I think 3 for that one. I mean, even the water in that game looks better than most other games' water, and it's paper.
Paper
Mario.
Game. Yeah.
Oh, shit,
the
yeah,
water
that
in that
water.
game is ridiculous,
Goddamn
and it's a bloody
water.
Paper Mario game.
Jesus.
I'll agree on 1 and 2, and then I'll let you do what you want with the other 3.
What? So Demon's Soul in second.
I think
Souls.
Last of Us Part 2, then Demon's Souls. I personally think Ghost of Tsushima should be number 3, but
I
it's not my
Don't,
list.
and
What did I
I've-
say number 3 was? Oh, Pip. Oh, sorry,
No, you
Paper
said
Mario.
Ghost.
Ghosts.
Yeah, I think
I
like,
really don't agree. I really think Paper Mario across the board from the amount of variation from A to B in that game is astonishing. Like they nailed it. There is not a flaw in that game's visuals. There's no, and I'm sorry to get granular because I like Ghost of Tsushima, but there's no NPCs that look a bit ropey in that game. That game from start to finish is artistically spot on. I don't see how Ghost of Tsushima is a good-looking game, but it is not without flaw. It's not. Like some of the character animations in terms of faces, they're not brilliant. Some of the NPCs needed more work and money than you'd ever get on a game of that sort of type. It's an open world game, but Paper Mario's flawless visually, and I would have been happier if it was number 2, but number 3 feels.
Yeah, I mean, I was obviously fine with the list and you already had it before, but I can't argue about how I felt about Demon's Souls when I first saw it and how I feel when I look at the vistas and the detail doesn't ever let up in any of the areas that I've been in. I can't comment on Ghosts. It's the only one on
No, but
on the
Ghost
list
nearly
I
got
haven't
cut
played.
several times, and it's now creeping up the list of third. People want it, and I don't.
Yeah, that's true. I kind of feel like. I mean, I prefer Paper Mario because I've played it, and I agree with what you've just said, Adam. I feel like, yeah, in terms of
It does nothing wrong.
It nails it 100%.
100%.
So I agree, but I haven't played Ghost, so I can't join in that conversation.
I'm happy with the list as it is. It's whether everyone else is.
I am.
You sure?
Yeah.
Chris
Yes.
White?
Yeah.
That was the least convincing.
Fine,
yes.
I'll take it. At
I
this
haven't
point,
got the arguing in me.
no. Okay, so best visuals, 5th place, Miles Morales. 4th, Ghost of Tsushima. 3rd, Paper Mario the Origami King. 2nd, Demon's Souls. And the winner of best visuals, like best audio, The Last of Us Part 2. Now, this year, we're doing a bit, we always do like a bit of a fun one. This is a bit different, not to take it too seriously, but we will. This is going to be a best top 3. And this is best new idea in a game. And the nominees are Hades and How to Tell a Story in a Roguelike Game, Watch Dogs Legion, the character switching, Half-Life Alyx with the gloves, Yakuza Like a Dragon blending familiar style with JRPG combat, Risk of Rain 2, the constantly increasing difficulty, Fuser, the blend of music, Mario Kart Live Home Circuit, remote-controlled augmented reality, The Pathless is movement, Other Side's progression through sacrifice, and Miles Morales and its instant loading times. Pardon
I
me.
don't feel like instant loading times is a new idea.
But it's never been done,
think
though, has it?
Yeah, but I don't think it's a new idea. I think it's something we've been grasping for since games first
It was
fucking
fine on
coughed into a
cartridges.
ZX Spectrum. But I don't know.
But it is worth mentioning how amazing it is in Miles Morales.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. Not knocking that. I just
is-
don't think it's a new idea. I don't think it fits the category of a new way of doing things. I think it's just
Okay, I'll
Good.
cut it. That's fine.
It is
Fuck
incredible. I will say it is incredible. And
Oh yeah, I'm not.
when-
Guys,
when
I'm
a
not
ga-
knocking it. I'm
When a
just
game
saying
has to
that.
say, "Do you want to see the subway loading screen?" because you won't be able to see it unless you turn that on as an option because we're too quick.
Yeah.
That's a feat.
Loading screens on or off. So
Yeah.
you've got time to eat your fucking Doritos.
And good luck
Sort
getting
of stuff.
good luck getting tips in Demon Souls because you ain't gonna get any because
No.
I'm just gonna go straight there.
They give you
Yeah,
one
in
word every
fairness,
loading screen.
Demon Souls is pretty quick. I think Fuser's got to go because it's not new. It literally took the idea from the pre-existing game that Harmonix made called Drop Mix, and that had an iPhone and digital integration, so it's not a new idea. They did it before. Not many people played it because it was more like a board game, but it did exist. Technicality.
I wouldn't argue.
Even
With
Mix got you with new idea already.
No, but that's the category, best new idea. Fuser,
Yeah.
it's
No,
cool,
yeah.
but it is not new because Harmonix did it before with Drop Mix.
Yeah, I mean, I've not played that, so
No.
it was new to me. But I get the interest. This is supposed to be a brand new idea, so I get it. Yeah.
I
I
mean,
think
someone.
Fuse has had a lot. I think Fuse had a lot of.
It has. I mean, someone's going to say that
Risk.
Risk of Rain 2 is not the first game to do that. But
I think it's the first game to do that while you're. Do you know what I mean? There's no cut or change, or it just constantly
so
gets.
for those who don't know, there's basically a bar in the top right. That's the longer you play, the harder it gets. The difficulty just keeps going up. So the balance is: do you finish the level quickly and keep it on easy, or do you spend time and get loads of loot, but the difficulty goes up? I don't think Mario Kart can stay either because it's essentially a remote controlled car in augmented reality.
Yeah, but I mean, who's done?
Yeah,
that
but it's Mario
before?
Kart in fucking.
in your living room on your floor.
Yeah, it's pretty
with
out
the
there.
remote
Like,
control.
As
I'm
a-
not
as
a
a- as
fan.
a-
Really
Okay.
cool.
As a new idea, whether it executes it well and that we can come to that when we want to cut it, but I think as a new idea, that's. I mean, I put it on the list, so I think it's an excellent choice.
I mean,
But,
that reason alone, I'd bring
think-
Games Master back and have people playing Mario Kart on a great big
Okay,
stage in
fair.
front of an audience. I think that's really cool.
The Pathless movement is cool.
it's cool, but there's something like, well, it's cool, but I haven't played the fucking thing. But
No,
like,
but
I know how it looks, but I'm just thinking like,
I feel
Journey
like
has moments like that.
Yeah, it's very Journey like that. I feel like I've played something else like it, and I can't remember what.
Yeah.
I would also say, just as you like say, I was getting into it, as I said yesterday. All of a sudden, I'm just playing a box standard 3D sort of third-person action adventure puzzly game, and that's fine. It's
Yeah.
good, but there's better ideas, better new ideas.
Yeah, I think you could cut that. It's not going to make the top. List,
Okay.
I don't think.
I maybe bringing up a spicy one here. I didn't think all that much about the Watch Dogs Legion character thing. No, simply because the kind of passion or interaction I would have like had or cared
no,
for
but that's not
these
the-
characters
that's-
is non-existent.
But you're
and I
judging the
don't like
game
that.
rather than the idea.
you
The
see-
idea of no one's done that before. No one's done that before.
GTA 5.
3 specific characters that were pre-designed.
It was
These
it was
are...
it was it was doing it whenever you wanted, just switching, and that looked way more impressive to me when it zooms out and goes down, and then the character was doing something random. I was like, that's fucking cool. This was just like a kind of a really cool gimmick, I felt, and
Okay.
I was like, all right,
No,
grand.
technicality.
I'm just not so gone in it.
I think you're right.
I
Technicality.
kind of, I'm not sure. I do think it's a good idea. I don't think they executed it in the way that
It
I don't
needed-
think
it
it
needed
was
to
all
load
it could be.
quicker. didn't
And
it?
I do think that, I mean, for example, once you got certain characters, you didn't fucking switch to anybody else. And I
No,
just
you're
used the
right.
construction work all the time because he had that drone that
Yeah,
could get me
I
to
was using that too.
objectives.
He was
And he was
brilliant.
fucking cool. He was like this Asian-looking, like proper Cockney geezer. And he was,
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
just
yeah.
like, he sounded like Jason Statham, and he could call a drone. And I'm not being funny, but if he got in a scrape, he had a wrench like this that he just fucking took people out of. And I thought, I don't need anybody else. And so I
Yeah.
think it was a good idea. I don't think it was one of the best ideas of the year. I think it was.
I
think it was
don't think it's on the list. I don't think we can include Yakuza because I think other games have done it.
Yeah.
I was going to say that. I feel like it's a thing. It's good. It's a nice idea for the Yakuza series, but I don't think it's a best new idea as a whole. It's implemented really well, and it feels like it fits in that genre. Like it doesn't feel like awkward, but I don't think it's the best new idea of the year.
I think this list is Hades, Risk of Rain, and Mario Kart.
Oh, interesting, because I was actually going to just bring up, because I don't know anything about it, but it sounds like Half-Life Alyx, the gloves, sounds like the
So in
business.
Half-Life Alyx, your
And
hands
such a
are like
good
they're kind of
VR
gravity
game.
guns.
It sounds
You
so
literally
cool.
pull things
I
to you,
think
and it
it's
is cool.
amazing.
It is cool, but other games do similar things. It's a way of getting around
I
the
don't
fact you're in
think Hades-
VR. You
I
don't
think Hades is very close to what Children of Mortar does.
Oh man, I think
in
Hades
terms
wins
of its
this
story.
in its sleep. Quite frankly,
Yeah, but
Hades,
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Hades
Yeah,
is
but
way.
I'm
floored
not
by the
saying-
way Hades handles it.
I mean, even every time you face
Yeah, but
fucking
Children
Meg,
of
she's
Mortar
got
does
different
something
dialogue.
very.
Not
You know what I'm
to the
saying?
scale, not
Children
on the
of Mortar does
scale.
something very similar. Like,
Not on the scale this
yeah, but
does, man.
the story for
Every
Children
NPC.
of Mortar just keeps on going. Like, you
I-
go down, you lose, you come back,
Yeah, but
and a
Hades has
character's
even
gone
got
off to do
story
something else, and
after
then you
you've
can go and
completed
look
it.
for them. And
Yeah, but Hades, even when you finish
Yeah,
it 10
I'm
times,
not-
has new dialogue.
it's not a question of. I mean, it's
I-
not a question of whether which game is better. I'm just saying the concept, the idea. I don't think is 100% new. I think Children of
I
Mortar
think Hades
did
was
that
doing it before,
first.
they weren't they, when they were in early access?
I don't think so. Maybe.
I mean, almost to the point with this, when I was playing Hades, I was like listening to stuff as like dialogue and
Yeah.
development in the story after I died, and I was sitting there thinking, what if I was really good at this game?
Yeah.
What if I completed this in 2 runs? I'd miss out on all of
Well, the
this.
story's
No, you
shit, but
wouldn't.
it's good.
stuff unlocking
still-
and you know the character interaction. Like, if I was really good, this wouldn't work. It's almost
Yeah.
assuming I'm going to be
No, because
average.
the idea
I-
is that you're supposed to complete it 10 times before you get to the
yeah.
real true
and I
ending.
know,
so
I know
you
that,
would.
and I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not like, this isn't a criticism.
No.
It's almost like this is why I think it's a really good idea, because it does feel like the story progresses as you die, and obviously the design of the game is so that you die, you earn currencies to slightly level up, give yourself a better chance. You learn the move sets of enemies, all that sort of stuff. You know, the stuff you'd expect.
Yeah.
But it was almost to the point where I was just like, because of how well I feel it's integrated, I thought almost like, if I was awesome, I'd miss out. And I think that for me, that's a testament, not a criticism, of why I believe this is one of the best implemented ideas. Because you've played
Yeah.
loads of roguelikes where
Yeah,
there's
it's
like,
fucking
you can
outstanding.
talk to a couple of people and they kind of say the same thing to you.
Mm,
And there's a bit of that in Hades, like, oh, you died again, lol.
Yeah.
But like,
Hades is the most refreshing roguelike of the last
But I also
fucking
think
of the
this-
entire genre.
This category is sort of in spirit of the kind of shadow of War Mordor things, where you had the that
The Nemesis
yeah,
system.
Nemesis
The
system.
relationship, yeah.
It's kind of like the best new idea. You think people will copy how they've done the story in Hades. Someone else will make a Risk of Rain 2 style increasing difficulty, and that means for me Mario Kart is kind of the third place game because it's amazing, but no one else is going to do this. And they will release new carts and updates that you can add to your collection, but only they will do that. Other side,
quite
we
happy
didn't
with that.
mention, but we didn't.
I don't think anyone else has played Other Side again.
No.
Though. You know, and it has got a cool thing, but it's nothing. It's nothing spectacular compared to a couple of the others we talked about.
And don't get me wrong, like the Half-Life Alyx stuff is really cool, impressive. But I just feel like having played a lot of VR, I've played a lot of VR that have used kind of teleportation stuff, and it's a really cool idea, but it also is a solution to a problem. I do think Hades is just the way they do story is ridiculous.
I tell you, the thing
They
about
wrote so
Hades
much
as well
more
is-
dialogue than they ever needed to.
That's what I was going to say. Again, Hades, they could have got away without doing this because it's such a
Yes.
good game that you'd have probably played anyway.
Yes. Yeah, they absolutely could have, and nobody would have moaned. They would have just said how good it looks, how great it sounds, how the combat's amazing. They would have moaned about it. No one would have moaned.
Some of it's not even like some of it's just like the Skelly guy that you just beat up every time.
Yeah.
He's always got stuff to say that you think, and it just shows it for me. It shows the attention to detail of like, well, we understand that you're going to keep coming back here. We want to keep things fresh, whereas you don't need to do that. But they have, and it's voiced, and it's done well, and it's believable, and there's.
It's one of the benefits again of early access, though, isn't it? Because they can just keep adding this stuff, and they get that feedback when people are getting bored, and they go, "Oh yeah, I'm." But probably all of it wasn't. You know what I mean?
No, you're right. All of it. No, they changed quite a lot. To be fair, Hades is just fucking great. Let's be honest.
It's great.
And it is a great idea. All of it, like it's not the only idea. Like the way they keep the roguelike stuff satisfying. Part of that is the story. Part of that is how they tell the story. That you know, it's a roguelike. You're going to fail the first 5 times. You're not even going to beat Meg the first 4 times unless you're lucky, or unless you manage to get the shield unlocked early or something. So you're going to meet those characters over and over again. And even in a Dead Cells, which is again for me like a high bar pinnacle of the genre, you are just getting the same dialogue through and through and the same stuff. Whereas in this, like it is like you're not playing a roguelike.
This is what a lot of roguelikes miss these days. Is they forget that there's got to be progression in there, or there's no point doing it. And I think Hades has definitely got one of the best examples.
It's got skill progression, weapon progression, story progression.
Yeah, tons of it. You can't help but progress a little bit every time, and you've got to have that.
Well, that's it. I think that's this fun category done in record time. Mario Kart Live Home Circuit, 3rd place. Risk of Rain 2's difficulty, 2nd, and Hades storytelling in a roguelike, number 1. So that's it for today. We've had best audio, best visuals, best new idea. Day 3, we will have best multiplayer and another new award, best new character. So we might start to get into spoiler territory come sort of, basically after we finish best multiplayer tomorrow, we'll be at essentially just around the halfway point of the week's award, and that means best new characters. We start the spoilers, and then as we carry on, we've got like your best story and best moment, and then, that's it. Day 5 is the most anticipated, and game of the year after that. I wonder if Dying Light 2 will be our most anticipated again for what must be the 3rd year running. There's a little spoiler to look forward to. Where's that game gone?
Where is that game?
Who knows? We've got new consoles now, but we'll talk about this on another day. Thank you everyone for listening so far. Today's a little bit of a shorter one, some more simple awards, although the best visuals was harder than I thought. Thank you to Adam, Chris, and Mick.
Thank you.
I am off, as usual, to refill my Christmas spirit in time for Day 3 of God is a Geek's Game of the Year 2020 Celebration Podcast Awards. Try saying that after a couple of Christmas spirits. We'll see you later. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.